I never planned to share this because even 3 years later, I still get chills just thinking about that house. My wife and I rented an old farmhouse on the edge of town. Quiet, cheap, far from neighbors. The landlord said the previous tenants moved out suddenly, but I didn't think much of it. The first week was peaceful, though the floors creaked more than they should have. Sometimes it sounded like someone was walking under the house. I checked the crawl space twice. Empty. It just smelled of damp wood, rust, and something faintly metallic. On the 8th night, I woke up to what I thought was a cat crying, except it wasn't a cat. It was a woman, crying softly, whispering for help from beneath the floorboards. At first I thought I was dreaming, but then it came again. 3 faint knocks from below, perfectly spaced. I froze. My wife sat up beside me, wide-eyed. "Don't," she whispered. "Don't go near it." But I had to see. I grabbed a flashlight and walked into the kitchen. The sound was louder there, right below the vent. I crouched down, lifted the grate, and shone the light inside. Dust, pipes, darkness, and then movement. A pale hand, vanishing as soon as the beam hit it. I jumped back, nearly dropping the flashlight. By morning, I convinced myself it was exhaustion, or maybe some animal trapped below. I called the landlord, but he brushed it off. "Old house," he said. "They make noises." So I called the police. When they arrived, one of the officers knelt down, listened, and frowned. "That's coming from under the foundation," he said. "There shouldn't be space down there." They pried up a few boards. What they found wasn't a crawl space. It was a room. An old sealed chamber filled with dirt, toys, and a rotted mattress. And in the corner, a camera. No memory card. The officer looked pale. He asked if we'd heard a woman's voice. When I said yes, he exhaled and muttered almost to himself, "You're the 3rd tenants to say that." Later I learned a woman had disappeared from that property years earlier. The case was never solved. But here's what still haunts me. A few weeks after we moved out, I found that old camera in one of our boxes. I inserted a new SD card just out of curiosity. The moment it powered on, it started recording by itself. The screen showed a dim basement, and me, standing in it, holding a flashlight, filmed from below. I didn't sleep after that night. Every sound in the house started to feel deliberate. The pipes, the wind, even my own heartbeat echoing too loud in my ears. The voice under the floor hadn't come back since that whisper, "Don't go." But silence was worse. Silence meant it was waiting. 2 days later, I decided to pull up the floorboards in the corner where I first heard it. My landlord would probably kill me, but I didn't care anymore. I needed to know. The wood came up easier than it should have. Beneath the boards was a narrow crawl space, about 2 feet high, running the length of the house. The smell hit first, damp soil, rust, and something faintly sweet, like old perfume gone sour. I aimed my phone flashlight inside. Dust, cobwebs, an old boot. Nothing else. But when I leaned closer, I noticed something strange. The dirt wasn't even. There were lines, faint, parallel grooves, almost like someone had been dragging their fingers through it. Then I saw the photo. A small Polaroid, half buried in the dust. I pulled it out. The image was blurry, but I could make out a woman standing in what looked like this very room. Same wallpaper, same cracked ceiling. Only the photo looked decades old. And behind her, on the floor, was a dark shape. Something that looked almost human. I dropped the picture and backed away, heart pounding. My phone light flickered, and for a moment I swear I saw movement under the boards. Something shifting just beyond the beam of light. Then the voice returned. But this time it wasn't a whisper. It was right beneath me, trembling, breathy, angry. "You weren't supposed to find it." The boards under my feet groaned, and one of them splintered. Not from my weight, but from below. Something was pushing upward. I stumbled back, grabbed a hammer, and ran out of the room. From the hallway, I could still hear it. That low, rhythmic scraping, like fingernails dragging against wood. I didn't go back down that night. I couldn't. But I left my phone recording by the hole. When I checked the footage the next morning, the timestamp showed 3:17 a.m. The camera picked up static, then faint breathing. And then, just for a second, a voice. Clear, calm, almost pleading. "You look just like her." That's when I noticed something else in the frame. At the edge of the hole, a hand, pale, thin, motionless, reaching just high enough to touch the floorboard. I didn't call the police. What would I even say? "There's a hand under my house that talks to me." No one would believe that. Hell, I barely did. But that morning, when I came back from work, the hole was covered. Perfectly. The boards were nailed back down, tighter than before. I hadn't done that. And there, sitting on top, was the Polaroid. Clean now, like someone had wiped the dust away. Only the image had changed. The woman in the picture was gone. Now it was just the empty room. The same angle, same lighting, except for one thing. In the corner of the photo, you could see me, standing there, looking down. I froze. The air felt thick, pressing against my chest. That smell, damp, sweet rot, was stronger again. I dropped the picture and ran outside, gasping for air, but even out there, it felt like the ground was humming beneath my feet. That night, I decided to leave. I packed my stuff, grabbed my keys, and went to the front door, but it wouldn't open. Deadbolt stuck. The handle turned, but it wouldn't move. Then I heard it again. "Don't go." The voice wasn't under the floor anymore. It was behind me. I turned, and slowly, and there she was. Not a ghost. Not a hallucination. A woman. Or what was left of one. Her skin was gray and torn. Her hair slicked against her face. She looked like she'd been buried for a long, long time. But her eyes were alive. She reached out a trembling hand, and her voice cracked into something between a sob and a whisper. "They left me here, don't leave me too." Then the floor beneath her began to move. Boards bending upward like something below was breathing. A sound like splintering wood filled the room. Before I could react, she was gone, pulled down, fast, vanishing into the dark. The floorboard slammed shut. Silence. I ran to the door again. This time it opened easily. Outside, the rain had started again, soft and steady. My phone buzzed. A new message. Unknown number. It was a photo. The same Polaroid. Only now she was standing behind me. I moved the next day. I don't talk about that house anymore. But sometimes late at night, when everything's quiet, I still hear her voice, not from beneath the floor, from the phone beside my bed. "You look just like her."